Thanks for visiting Patient Weather today. I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'll be talking about the weather stress forecast for March 18th, 2026. We do keep additional graphics at tpatw.com. We maintain a storefront, Patient Weather, on Amazon. Amazon purchases made through our Patient Weather storefront support the activities of Patient Weather. Looking at the surface map for Wednesday, rather simple. A little bit of a cold front still hanging south of Florida, keeping showers over Miami. However, the real significant story is that warm front stretching all the way from North Dakota all the way down to the Florida Panhandle, actually really warming all the way from the plains to the Appalachians. Looking at our vitality index, the measure of the individual weather elements that will have an impact on the human health, we can see that we have a little bit of activity, especially in the northern plains, another center of activity over the Ohio Valley, but the real focus of interest will be here in the Northeast. Looking at pressure change, and this is really minimal pressure change for this time of the year. In fact, it seems as if the pressure story has been the story of the entire season, but this time we have just a little bit of rising pressure in New Mexico, a little bit in the westernmost portion of the plains from western Nebraska, western Kansas into eastern North and South Dakota. But the real area of rising pressure will be along the eastern seaboard, basically coastal North Carolina, coastal Virginia, and then picking up in Delaware, New Jersey, very eastern Pennsylvania, and across all the remainder of New England, and pushing all the way through those easternmost Canadian provinces. The story of the next few days will be temperatures, and here you can see that we have rising temperatures all the way from the plains, all the way to the Appalachians, taking in the Mississippi Valley, the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, and really pushing even into western New York. The dew point temperature change map is very much the same with everything from the plains to the Appalachians, but note that on the rising dew point temperatures, we have a significant rise in dew point temperatures across the Florida Peninsula. Looking at the vapor pressure map, it supports the same thing, again with that rising dew points very strong across Florida. Looking at the change in oxygen availability, you can see that we do have that risk of migraine up the eastern seaboard, coastal North Carolina, coastal Virginia into Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, and note it swings and misses portions of New England, picks up across Massachusetts and up into New Hampshire and Maine, and then once again all those easternmost Canadian provinces. But the risk of asthma and arthritis literally stretches from the plains all the way across the Mississippi Valley into the Ohio Valley and Great Lakes, and note that the risk of asthma and arthritis extends east across Florida and then cuts off right with those westernmost portions or the peak or point of the Appalachians. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Your comments are appreciated, and if you hurt, tell us where you're located.